What's going on, everyone? So the San Antonio Spurs are gearing up and getting ready to do their first preseason game of the season. And they're just kind of going through the interviews and all that stuff. And Chris Paul was talking about the players on this team and talking about Stephon Castle in particular, and really had some praise about Stephon Castle. And look, Castle is expected to have a big role for the Spurs this year. He's expected to be a real impact player right out the gate for the Spurs this year. But Chris Paul had this to say. He said, Chris Paul genuinely seems impressed with Stephon Castle. I mean, I was nice when I came in as a rookie, but and then he stopped himself from giving Castle too much praise. Laughed my ass off. And look, Stephon Castle, again, he's a guy that's looked to come in, play a big role for the Spurs this year, be a real key piece for the future, right? It's the guy that is being primed to be the starting point guard of the future for this team. Be that guy in the backcourt that can defend at a high level, be that kind of Swiss Army knife, which is what he's always been, right? Right? This is a guy that, he was looked at as I can do anything whenever you need it, right? Like, he's a guy, you need me to go get you 20, I'll get you 20. You need me to defend the best player on the team, I'll defend the best player. You need me to grab 10 assists, I'll grab 10 assists. You need me to, be the hustle guy and just do the dirty work all game, I'll be the hustle guy and do the dirty work all game. Whatever you need out of me. Whatever is asked of me, that's what, asking you shall receive. That's great, right? Like, you get a guy that comes off as very unselfish and willing to, he just wants to win and do whatever, right? Because you get a lot of the young guys and they want to show that they can be the hero. They want to show that they can be the guy. Everyone wants to be the superstar. Everyone wants to be the big name. And look, Stephon Castle very well could be that, right? Stephon Castle's got great size, great length, great versatility, hard nose, gets after it, still incredibly young, right? He won't be 20 till November. So he's even going to start the season at 19. And, you look at, with UConn, right? He was that do-everything guy. With UConn, he was that, hey, I'll go drop, 20 tonight. But he also was the guy that, hey, these guys are cooking over here. Let me just make plays. Let me just play some hard defense. Let me just rebound the basketball. You look at his stats last year with UConn, and he was 16.5 points, right? 6.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He's a guy that can do a little bit of everything, fill up the box scores. This is a guy that is the foundation piece alongside Victor Wembanyama. Him and Victor, and look, I know you got Vassell and stuff like that too, but Castle is supposed to be the primary ball guy, right? And in today's NBA, though, most of you look at all, the days of the Chris Pauls are pretty much gone. There's very few guys that are that pass-first, traditional style point guard. You look at all the teams with their point guards, all the top teams with their point guards, they're all pretty much that combo guard, almost more of a two guard than they are a traditional point guard. They all are, 6'4" to 6'6" in size and can make plays and shoot. And, you think of SGA, Jean Morant, all these guys are the new waves, the new modern point guard. And that's what Castle can be. A guy that go get you, 25 points, dish out 6 assists, grab 6 boards, slide it alongside Wemby, build that relationship and that chemistry with him and with Victor Wembanyama, really start to take some strides. You can see the excitement. And Stephon Castle, right? He's a guy that, again, is looked at as a big piece alongside Devin Vassell and Victor. That seems to kind of be their core three. The Spurs are really high on Jeremy Sohan, but he's got to start taking some strides at some point. He's still young. Give him time. Not saying I know Spurs fans are kind of split on him. Spurs fans either love him or hate him. To me, I'm kind of let's just wait and see. Right? I don't think he's untradeable or anything. I think if somebody wants him and you can get a good deal for him, I think you do it. But patience, right? Also, when you're talking about Devin Vassell, though, Vassell is going to be out till November 1st is when he's supposed to get reevaluated. So, Stephon Castle is going to get, at least probably a handful of games, maybe more, because Vassell's only supposed to get reevaluated. Doesn't mean he'll be back. He went and had surgery in the offseason trying to get right. He wants to take his time getting back so he can be 100% healthy. So do the Spurs. Everyone wants him to take his time, which is fine. That's what you want. You don't want to rush him back, right? One, the Spurs aren't a team that's like looking to win the championship this year, but you want to take some real strides. Like, this team is a team that wants to win, right? They want to start showing some real improvement. They don't want to win 22 games again. They don't want to be that team that, every team has circled as a free win on the board. No, the Spurs they're a team that you want to look at and you have to beat. It's like, man, like, it's going to be a tough night, right? Like, even if the Spurs do lose a bunch of games, right? You want them to be competitive. You want them to be tough. You want them to take some strides. You'd like to see them win at least 40 games, right? But this is a team that could potentially make the play-in. This could be a team that's fighting for the play-in, which would be a good good stride. You get into the play-in, couple things get hot, couple things kind of fall your way. All of a sudden, you look up, you're in the playoffs. I think that would be great. But it's going to start with guys like Stephon Castle really stepping up and playing big out the gate. Like, how good can he be right out the gate? He's going to get the opportunity, like I mentioned, because you don't have Devin Vassell. So without Vassell, you need guys like Keldon Johnson, like Stephon Castle, right? Harrison Barnes will probably play a bigger role. Like, you need these other guys to really step up and step in and play a necessary role for the remainder of the time that he's out. And that would also be good for Vassell, because then now he doesn't feel like, man, I really got to hurry this up. I really got to rush back. I really got to work hard to make sure that, like, we don't get too far behind. You want to be able to just tell, like, hey, don't worry about it. Take time off. Put your legs up. We got this. Right? We got this. It's going to work out. It's going to be good. It's going to be fine. Like, that's where you want to be if you're the Spurs. But, if Castle can really be that guy this season, if he can be that menace out there, play some defense, right? You got to lock in. You got to be focused. You got to be able to play both sides of the basketball. You got to be willing to sacrifice your body, work hard, do the dirty work. Pop's going to do his best to kind of string him along and not... like even Wemby last year, right? Like, Pop isn't a guy that's going to go in and play Castle 40 minutes, right? Like, you saw, like, with Wemby, 19 minutes early in the season, and then you slowly started to see it ramp up. That's what I think he'll probably do with Castle, right? Kind of, here's 20 minutes, 18 minutes, and then, now you're at 25 to 30 minutes, regular game in and game out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like Stephon Castle, and do you think that he's going to really take some strides? He's the guy that everyone keeps really talking about as, like, standing out. Everyone keeps saying, like, hey, man, this dude looks special. And I love that. And, I'm rooting for him. But how do you feel? Are you rooting for him? Do you think he's going to be great? Think it's going to take a little time? Or do you think, like, nah, he'll be great out the gate? Not like, I'm not saying he'll be, 28-8 great out the gate, but I'm saying, like, think he'll be a real impact piece immediately. Like a guy that can come in, slot in, and really kind of, impact winning for the Spurs. And also, like, with his size, his ability to play multiple positions, because him being 6'6", you can slot him, obviously, at the point, but you can slot him at the 2, you can slot him at the 3. Even on some occasions, you could probably slot him at the 4. Some of these teams like to go small, right? Ideally, though, I think he's more of like that 1 through 3. But even just defensively, if he gets switched, his size and his length gives him the ability to kind of stand out on the defensive side and be able to match up in those spots, in those areas, right? You want a guy like that. You want a guy that can basically you could put him basically anywhere on the basketball court, and he's going to impact and be able to hold his own on both sides of the basketball. But I think he's going to be a real impact guy. Could he be rookie of the year? I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on his role, opportunity, minutes, things like that. You look at a guy like a Zach Edey. If I had to bet, I would probably say it's Zach Edey, just because I think Zach Edey is going to get the minutes. I think he's going to get the role, and I think he's going to get the opportunity. And he is incredibly NBA ready, and his size and strength, I think, is going to make it an easier kind of NBA transition. But Stephon Castle, I mean, look, I said when the Spurs drafted Castle that he might be the best player in this draft. They might have gotten, when we fast forward 3 to 5 years from now and look back at this draft, Castle was clearly the best player. That I don't think is that far-fetched. But how do you feel? Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.